Hello and welcome to the live. This is Kim. Glad to be joining you today. It is Tuesday as usual, and I am freshly shorn. The hair is getting shorter and shorter. I think this is as short as it's gonna go. I'm not really a pixie girl, so I think the flapper bob is probably about where we're gonna stop. So we'll see. I'm gonna play with styling it in different ways. We'll see. I might do a longer bang. This was maybe a miscommunication, but we'll see how it goes. It's kind of nice to feel a little freer with my hair. I think when I was heavier, I'm just going to be perfectly honest, I wasn't as comfortable with short hair. I kind of wanted a little more hair to hide behind. And I love long hair. I think people look so cute with like beautiful, luxurious long hair locks. I don't have that kind of hair. So, the wow, there's a lot of cleavage. So I have to. I think I'm accepting my role in this world. So anyway, if you hate it, please don't tell me because that'll make me feel bad. But if you like it, feel free. So, anyway, there's always a couple of days adjustment period. Anyway, one thing I have learned with a new haircut that's so starkly short compared to how I usually do it, I kind of feel like I have to wear more makeup. You kind of got to play into the kind of 20s makeup and look. And I feel like even on screen, I don't look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup, but I'm wearing way more makeup than I usually wear. So, anyway, that's what's happening. If you are watching, say hey, say howdy, say whatever you'd like. And I'm here coming to you from Berkeley, California. I've done some coaching calls today, and I have just been, doing the stuff. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. What's going on? I'm going to Las Vegas in a few weeks or a week and a half for the COSI conference, which is the conference of Dave Feldman and his peeps out of Las Vegas, which is where he's from. Well, not originally, but where he lives. And then I'm not doing. That's I think that's the only conference I have on my schedule currently. I am going to go to Italy in a couple of months for a family visit. Maybe I'll turn it into a work-related trip of how to eat in Italy kind of thing, but we'll see. Hey, Magic Beans, good to see ya. And that's what's happening in my life. I don't know what else is going on with you guys. What's happening? I'm kind of settling into a bit of a weight maintenance period. I'm considering another like one more round of weight loss at some point in the future just because like I think I've talked about this before, but until you get to a certain size, you don't know what that size looks like on your body. And so that might happen, not much, but it's weird. It's weird going from being someone who couldn't I couldn't pick a goal weight if I threw a dart at something on a dartboard, right? I mean, because when you start your weight loss, when you weigh 300 pounds or thereabouts, knowing if you're going to want to be 190, 180, 170, all of those things seem so far away that, I remember when I first started my weight loss journey, I just remember thinking, if I can just get to under 200, I'll be really happy. That would be amazing. That would be so different than any experience I have, right? And then you get to 200 and you're like, this is not what I thought this would be like. And, so because every weight looks different on everybody. And, it's that same thing where people, when, they're like, oh, I lost weight. You're like, well, what are your macros? What are you eating? They're like, and everybody will say, that won't do the same thing for you that it did for me because we're different. And it's the same thing. Like, you can look at two people who weigh the exact same thing and they look completely different. Like one looks underweight, one looks overweight. Very different on how things are distributed on bodies. So that can be very different for each person. So that's just it's the guess and check. Jack says, Italy sounds exciting. I wanted to thank you for suggesting a timeout from watching my food so much. It helped tremendously. Oh, great, great. I'm glad to hear it. There are times, there are seasons, right? There is what is the there's I won't sing for you, but there turn. There is a time for every season. And yeah, and sometimes you got to be on it, and sometimes you got to take a break from being quite so on it. In terms of how much attention you are placing on various things, for sure. So, anywho, what else is going on in the world? I've been writing. What else is new? I just do that all the time. And I've been going down a lot of rabbit holes, and then I'll come out the other side and be like, well, everything I wrote today was very interesting and not at all useful for the project I'm trying to work on. But such is life. And what have I made anything interesting today? I didn't really cook today. Thinking, I just ate things. I just things that were in the fridge. I didn't cook any of them really. So yeah, there's nothing on the food front really. I got a little judgmental with somebody and I feel bad about it. So I'm in this Facebook group with people who are um like it's like a not it's not a keto group, it's not a macro group even. It's like a using a food app group, and I just happen to be in it. And I happen to see something and I can't help myself sometimes. And that they use like Chat GPT to come up with a meal plan, and I was like, oh, that meal plan seems so boring. And I was like, da, da, da. And then they responded, oh, I told, and I was like, this sounds terrible. I was a little more politic than that, but not much. I was a little bit like, oh, that sounds like that's sad. I was like, do this instead. And then they were like, oh no, I chose the foods. And I was like, sorry. I didn't mean to be insulting. Sometimes I can be accidentally insulting. I didn't mean to be, but they were very nice. We had a chat. We no insult was taken. They were very gracious. Because apparently I was like, why would ChatGPT pick these foods? These are boring. Because I thought it was ChatGPT's fault. And then I was like, oh right, some people like, you know, very basic foods, and I should be a little more. I should be a little less foodie judgmental. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, why would you want nuts in a cheese stick when you can have a Caesar salad? I don't understand. Because not everyone thinks like you, Kim. Get out of your own head. All right, fine. All right. Lenore says cutting carbs. I have to tell myself a little bit. Sorry, there's light coming in from the window and it's making little patterns on my face. Cutting carbs and sugar for the last few months has made a good dental visit today. Inflammation way down. Well, fabulous. Congratulations. A good dental visit is always a good day because a bad dental visit is always a horrible day. So, yeah, if you can just get in and out of there and you're like, hey, good job, did good. Not a lot of scraping, not a lot of mining. That's always a nice thing. Congrats on that for sure. I have a dental appointment coming up and I think it should go fine. Usually goes fine. My problem is never like what I've been eating. It's always that sometimes I've been clenching. I'm a clencher in my sleep, and that can cause some problems. So anyway, all right. What else is going on in the world? I'm thinking. What is going on in the world? I mean, I know a lot's going on in the world, but what's going on in your world? What's going on with your life? Things you've got questions about? Yeah, so I'm a like I always just revert to just talking about nonsense. So um the other thing that's weird after losing a bunch of weight, right, is like your style. What is your style? Because once upon a time, my style was things that did not cling too badly and that I felt like I could, get away with. And things that when you would go to the clothing store as a size 24, it was like this doesn't look too bad. And I have to say that over the course of time that I was plus size, um, clothes got better. There was an improvement in plus size clothes for sure. And so you could go to like, oh, this actually looks kind of cute, or this is kind of stylish, or whatever. But it's weird when you're starting to be like, oh, all those things that I used to like. Like I used to go, I'd go shopping with friends and I'd buy a scarf because that's all that I fit when I was at the place we were going because none of them were plus size. But then now I can actually look at things and say, I don't think that I like that. And like to actually be able to like say no to clothes that fit, that objectively fit, right? Right? Because there are enough options that you don't have to say yes to everything just because it fit. Sorry, I have an H. Yeah, that's a weird one. Hey, Rita, I did. It's super short. I know. I started off the call, talking about it. Like I said, I think I want the bangs a little longer. Bangs are always weird, but I do like the length of the rest of it. So, um, Jack says I took a career stylist course during my diet break. So funny you mentioned this today. Yeah. Oh, funny. Funny. Yeah. Yeah. So like finding your personal style is something that, I think there are different seasons in our life too, right? Like the personal style I had when I was a teenager and then a young adult, and now I'm about to be 50 uh before too much longer. And you know uh what's my style like there, and like looking at like how my mom dresses and how I don't dress and all that kind of stuff. So that is just the way it goes. Rita says, cute, I like it longer. Yeah, this is an experiment. The other thing that's like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Um, when my hair is a little longer, I have to put in extensions because I have very fine, thin hair. And I also, about 8 months ago, had shingles and like a lot of my hair fell out. And so it's starting to grow back in. So I've got like, like rows of regrowth, and like there were bald spots on my head after the shingles. And so I'm in that like let's grow your hair back in. And I don't want to like wear hair all the time. Like I'll throw a wig on if I want to for like a party or something like that. So like you might see me with a something on. I don't know. But this is me. But I don't necessarily, I would like to just have easier hair. So this, when it's a little shorter, it's got more boof to it. And so that's one of the reasons I'm trying out the shorter. So we'll see. Not this short a bang though. This is a little too much for me. So anyway, but miscommunicate. Like it was the first time I've ever said to a hairstylist something negative while in the chair. I'm usually like, I'll do it. Okay. But he snipped and I was like, "Oh no, that's shorter than I meant." But it had been done. Anyway, it's fine. It just makes my eyebrows very apparent. Anyway, so yeah, so after the shingles, my hair was kind of a wreck. And so that's when a lot of like clip-ins had to happen. And so I just not that girl. Not that girl. So it's fine, like for a party or for a thing or for a whatever. I'm like, well, it's fine. And even for a live, like, sure, no big deal. But like, I'm trying to like find the style that my hair will just settle into comfortably. So that's the process we're in right now. So Lenore says I'm leaning into a boho style. Um, way out of my comfort zone. Yeah. All right. Try on the new style, Lenore. Go for it. I like that. I like that. Rita says, see, I'm squinting because I don't have my glasses on. Uh, Rita says, I've become to liking. That's why I was like, is that right? I've come to like cottage cheese in place of mayo in some dishes. Well, you rebel, protein getting rebel. It does make you look younger, not that you're old. Well, that is a relative concept. To those older than me, I am young. To those younger than me, I am old. It's all relative at a certain point. So yeah, because yeah, I'll just say that's the truth. What else have we got here? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, so finding your personal style, finding the thing that makes you feel good once you know, or if you haven't lost any weight, but just like what makes you feel good when you wear it, I give some of my friends. I always gave my mom trouble. So my mom is, she like, I call it the what do I um the shroud. That's what I used to call it. She likes to wear clothes that are too big for her. And so I'm always like, why are you hiding in there? But now, it is challenging for me too. Like I have this back and forth mentally. I don't know if you guys can this makes sense to anyone, but now that I've lost the weight, I feel like if I don't wear form-fitting clothes that show off the weight loss to some degree, like then I feel like people can't see it, which is dumb because I used to have a neck that like hung down. So I'm like, if they can see my face, they can see that. So, like, what is it that I'm trying to constantly prove, right? I mean, that is a thought I have sometimes. It's probably due to some low self-esteem, I understand, but, like, probably don't have to prove it, and when I look at a lot of styles I like kind of an easy style that's not super tight, and then on the other side, when you're somebody with my proportions, because I have kind of a big chest, if you don't wear things that are sort of form-fitting, you just look sort of like a big blob. These are the things that I think about when I go shopping. I don't know if this is a part of any of your thought process in the shopping trips. But yeah, like learning your body over time. I was thinking about this the other day too, right? Um, Proportions and how they change in different phases. Like when I was very heavy, there was proportion in a one way, and then I got like mid heavy, and I was like very hourglass, and now I'm going less heavy, and I'm kind of just turning into a stick with some boobs. And I mean, not I'm not that thin, but like I'm losing some things, and so I'm like, where is my boot? Where's my ass? It's going. It's going. It's going, people. I gotta do the squats. I really gotta get on that. So I'm constantly surprised. It's like I'm constantly meeting my new self. So anyway, I'm just chattering until there are questions. So if you're tired of what I'm talking about, chime in with a question. I'll talk about something else. So anyway, that is thanks, Rita. Yeah, I mean, I am proud of my accomplishments, and I also like to be comfy cozy. So, sometimes my desire to show off my accomplishments are at odds with my desire to wear something very comfortable. When I was bigger, I would be more likely to wear something more comfortable because I wasn't trying to show off. Anyway, like a waistband with a button and a zipper and all that. That's a commitment for a whole day. Jeans, that is a commitment for a whole day of wearing jeans. I mean, for an hour or something, that's no big deal, but in a day, that's a lot to ask. um Nanu Paul Pat says after reverse dieting from 1,000 calories to 1,900 calories, woo-hoo, and almost no gain. That's awesome. I'm trying to cut now at 16 and slowly gaining. Well, that's weird. How long, right? So, you've got to get out of the short term changes because if you were eating 1,900 calories and you were not gaining weight, and now you're eating 1,600 calories and you are gaining weight, what else has changed? Right? You say you've started exercising a little bit more. If it's just been a short time that this has been happening, it might just be water weight retention. Because once you start, anytime you increase your workouts, you can get more water retention in your muscles up to like 5 pounds. And so, but that should, over weeks and weeks and weeks of following that, you should see that sort of stabilize a bit. You will still see spikes of water weight up and down, but it shouldn't be up and up and up and up. It should be like up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So I would say give it some time. Jack says, how long was my recovery with the shingles, if you don't mind sharing? Okay, so I think I've talked about shingles, but so this was May. Was it May? May. I think it was May. May. So what is that? May, June, July. June is 6, so 6. So it was 7, 8 months ago. And I just all of a sudden noticed that I was like under my armpit was kind of weird. Like, and like my, not my arm, like sort of like the, my chicken wing, you know, the little part of your back, was it felt sunburned. That's what the feeling was, like a sunburn. I was like, why do I feel like I have a sunburn on this part of my, and then I was like, oh. And I pretty much knew it was probably shingles. So I went to the urgent care and they're like, yeah, shingles. And then like the rash was, it took a while. So this was the problem. I never had a rash for a while. I just felt like I had a sunburn. Couldn't find a rash. Couldn't find a rash. So I kind of delayed going in because I'm like, what are they going to do for me? So I didn't go in until I saw a rash. And then as soon as I saw a rash, I went in and they're like, oh, we could have given you the antivirals before, but you know, all right, there you go. So I went in, I had a rash, like it was under my arm here, which was irritating because that's where your bra sits right there. And then on my little back, my little wing there, just sort of sprinkly. So that's where I had it. And it was just irritating. That was it. I had a really easy case. Like people, I've heard of people who've had just like intense pain, and I was just like, I have a sunburn. That's how it felt. It just, my sweater is off kilter. I felt like I had a sunburn, and it felt tender, like a sunburn gets. And I couldn't wear a bra. That was irritating. And so, but not a big deal. Like I could still sleep. I just had to sleep on the other side. Then I started getting cramps in my like shoulder because I was only sleeping on one side. Because it was on my side and a little on my back. So that was just irritating. So it was just annoying is all it was for me. And so the people that have the shingles where they're just like their skin is on fire and they're in pain and it hurts so bad. I've seen those people. My mom had a case like that, but she had it when she was in her 80s and I am in my 40s. And the reason I didn't have the vaccine or anything for it because they don't really tell you to worry about it until you're in your 50s and I was 47. So anyway, but I guess I was a little overstressed at that time. I'm trying. It's like I can't remember what was going on, but stress can bring it on. And so light case, but the weird thing that happened because it was a virus and my body was responding to the virus is about a month after I had it, all my hair fell out. Like literally the bathroom floor was covered in hair all the time. Like like just just I mean, and I have thin hair and so I have hypothyroidism that was undiagnosed for 20 years. So a lot of my hair had already fallen out. I already had thin hair. You already could see scalp in very like my part was a little wider than I wanted it to be. All those things. And then this happened and I was like, "Holy moly." Like I was definitely balding. Like it was significant. And so I was just like, okay, hopefully this should reverse when, so it was a stress response. So that can happen. A virus is very stressful to your body. My body was like, what the heck? We're not going to put any of our attention on your hair right now. We're just going to, and so it was just like leaping from my head. And so for a while after that, I was putting extensions and little things in to cover the top and the places and filling in. And so I was doing that for a while. And so now it's pretty much grown back. You can see this is my scalp. But yeah. So I've got like I don't want to. It's got hairspray in it, but like if I pulled my hair up, you'd see there were like pieces that are like this long and this long because they're kind of growing back in. So yeah, that was a little bit scary. I was contemplate after that happened. I was like contemplating just wearing a wig all the time, that kind of thing, which I'm probably gonna have to do at some point in my life because looking at my mom's hair and how it's gone, I'm like, I think just a wig is just the way to go. If I lose a certain amount of hair, that will happen, I'm sure. Just aging does things. And I'm just trying to be okay with that. But yeah, now I feel like I've gotten enough back. I'm like, all right. And so I cut it short, one to make more of what I've got, gives it a little more body. And two, to kind of as the pieces are growing in, kind of give them a little bit more continuity. So that's what happened. So yeah, but the shingles themselves for me, really the big part was I could still go to the grocery store. I could still, function. I was just a little bit it just felt like I had a really bad sunburn on a part of my body. That was it. So, anyway, yeah, I had chickenpox when I was a little kid, so that's what happens eventually. If you get unlucky, you get shingles. Don't get stressed out, people. It's bad for you. But that's it. Yeah, to Rita's point, yeah. There are some people that have just awful cases. Apparently, this is what I hear, that the younger you are when you get it, usually the lighter case you have. So, because I was pretty young for shingles, it was a pretty light case. And then some people get it on their face, and that sounds awful because you can like get it in your eye, and then it like might harm your vision. That sounds super not good. But yeah, no, I just had it on, just in a spot where I couldn't run because I couldn't put a bra on. I sort of had to hold things in hold things in front of me when I was around other people. Luckily it was, well, I guess it was May, so I couldn't even put like a hiding coat on. Anyway, I just sort of tried not to show off that gravity was in effect in that day. Anyway, so that was my experience. Yeah, that was it. So I'm super lucky, super lucky. Not to get it, but like, the case I had, no biggie, no biggie. The hair thing was the the worst part. That was totally the worst part, dealing with, I've gone bald. Okay. All right. Okay. Like here, do I have, maybe, let's see. I will show you. Wow. See, you asked me a question and I'm just like, let me share the details. Let me see if I can find this somewhere. There you go. That was the top. Can you see that? That was the top of my head when after the hair had fallen out. So there you go. And you can see. Now this was before bangs and I hadn't colored my hair, but you can see how much scalp I was showing. That's a lot of scalp. That was that was alarming. That was that was alarming. Yeah. I was very scared. I was scared. But most of it has grown back. So that's good news. But yeah. So I was wearing things that covered that part of my head. And I guess at the time I just didn't feel like being like, "Hey everybody, this isn't all my hair." But this is all my hair. So there you go. And like I think we should make it more normal to wear toppers and wigs and stuff because a lot of us need them. And they're so cute. And maybe I want long hair one day and short hair another day. I think that should be fine. It's like it's a thing. Anyway, um yeah, Chuck says I would have panicked. Yeah. Yeah. It was not a pleasurable because and then it takes like 3 or 4 months to really see if it's coming back or not. And luckily I did. I had like a little porcupine um like mohawk for a little bit. So anyway. Lenore says a friend of mine had it on his face. Oof, so glad I didn't get that. That one scares me. And unfortunately, I guess I can still get shingles again. I'm hoping that that will not happen again because I don't want it worse. Anyway, but yeah, so that was my hair experience, and my shingles experience, and so I have lived through that. Um, hey Tammy, Pat says I think extra hair is getting way more normal. Yeah, and I think that's a fabulous thing. Like, oh my gosh, when you're like, I mean, hair is a thing. When you're getting self-conscious around like what it's why not throw some fake hair in there? And I don't like to do like the extensions where they glue them in for a long time because it will harm the hair on your head that is actually yours. So like the ones where you like pop a topper on and stuff, those are much safer for your hair. Or a wig. There's this wig shop in New York called Shawnee, Shani, and they make wigs for like, a lot of Orthodox women and like the rich and famous. She does like, Naomi Campbell's wigs and things. They're like $12,000 wigs. They're like, but I follow her on Instagram because I was like, those are amazing wigs. Like they're so cool. Anyway, so I'll be your girl. If you are like, hey, wear the hair, I'm like, well, do whatever you want with your hair. So like, you see people at the Oscars and you're like, wow, it's amazing. They have blonde hair now. No, they don't. They're wearing a blonde wig. It's so many people, so many celebrities are wearing hair. So why not be like a celebrity? Anyway, not that I'm telling you to pay $10,000 for one of those. You can do better than that. All right. Rita says, is it okay to drink Element in your water every time you drink water? How do I answer that? I mean, I guess it depends how much Element you're putting in your water. So each pack of Element is 1,000 milligrams of sodium or 1 gram, right? And so generally speaking, you're going to aim, some people do better with less, some people do better with more, but on average, around 5 grams of salt a day is what kind of is in that optimum range, especially if you're a low carb person. And so, again, I'm not giving any person advice, right? I'm just saying, like, on average, the advice is to aim for around 5,000 milligrams or 5 grams of sodium, a day, not salt. And there is 1 gram of sodium in an Element stick pack. And so so that would be 5 elements a day if you got no other salt in your diet. Most people like salt. I actually find people get around just salting some food, like not heavy salting, but just a little salt, like all fresh food that you just put salt on. You're not getting more than like 1 to 1.5 grams of sodium from that. So that leaves somewhere in the range. I was realm and range anyway. Around like 3 packs, probably most people could get away with. But I would not jump from 0 packs to 3 packs. If you're doing like 1 to 2 packs a day right now, see how you feel. Are you feeling like you're getting too much sodium? You've got enough, right? You can try bumping it up a little bit. Do you still feel good? That kind of thing. But like, and you don't have to put a whole pack, right? Like this is 24 ounces, I think. 30? I think it's 24 ounces of water. And so I would probably put 1 stick pack in this, and find that very pleasurable. But if I were following the directions, it says like 1 stick pack for 16 ounces. So I'd probably put 2 in here, close. And that might be a little much for me, right? So I think you can put some Element in all your water. But how does it? Hopefully, this is making sense. You wanna get your salt quotient to the right place for you, and so that might mean doing a half a pack per water, or just depending on how much you want to drink versus how much sodium you feel best ingesting. Hopefully, that makes sense. But I don't have a problem if you were like, I like to spread it out and put it in all my water. I don't really think that's a problem. I don't know what your dentist will say. I don't know if there's a problem with that, but I don't think there's anything in there that your dentist doesn't want you soaking in. So there you know. What else? I'm thinking. Yeah. So I think that that so it's kind of doing those decisions. Hey Tammy, good to see ya. How you doing? We were all discussing my very short hair now. And I remember you'd like the darker hair, so I've kept the darker hair. I was trying to do the go gray naturally thing, and apparently that's not for me. So there was another thought I had and it just flew out of my head. So there you go. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So the stick packs of electrolytes, I don't think there's really a problem with using them as you see fit, and as long as you're titrating the amount of sodium that your body does best on. So go with that and how you feel, and the signs of too much salt, not enough salt. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. The signs of too much salt or not enough salt. Like, do you seem like you're more swelly than you should be, and things like that. Are your hands and feet puffy? Are you feeling puffier? Those are things you kind of want to pay attention to. But like I know some people who, like I was saying, the average seems about 5 grams of sodium, but I know some people who do best at like 10, like a lot of salt. And some people who do better with a little bit less. I've got some clients that are salt sensitive and some clients that are not. So most people are not salt sensitive, by the way, but some are absolutely. And you got to know your body. What I was going to say is a lot of people don't know what to look for in terms of how much water we should be drinking. So, and the trick is you want not clear, but almost clear urine. I know. I'm just telling you. Everybody sees it when you flush the toilet, so But some people mistakenly think you want it to be clear. You don't. You want like a hint of color, but close, but a hint of color. And one of the reasons is that by the time you get to completely clear, you might be flushing out too much of your electrolytes. And once it goes clear, you can't tell how much clearer it's going, right? Like once you get to clear and you keep diluting your body's stores of water, you keep diluting your body's stores of minerals, you could go real far without knowing. So you want to stay where there's still a little color, a little bit. Obviously, if you take B vitamins, there's a lot of color because that makes your pee fluorescent. Anyway, but yeah, don't go all the way to clear. Rita says summer would probably need more. Yeah, so you're gonna balance that. And I am a big electrolyte girl. You should see our electrolyte drawer. It is insanity. My boyfriend also big electrolyte person. He needs them. He hikes, and on his hikes, he would put like 4 in a water this size for his hike. So yeah, makes him feel a lot better. And I usually only end up using 1 electrolyte pack a day, unless it's hot and I sweat. Tammy says, I think short. Yes, you might have missed it, Tammy. The bangs got cut a wee bit shorter than I intended. There was a little, oh, haha. No, that's not what I meant. So they'll grow. They'll grow. Going with that. Anywho, but I was like, tonight, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Call it fine. I kind of brushed them to the side a little bit because it kind of disguises. They look a little less dorky, maybe. I don't know. They might look more dorky, but well, it is what it is. Thanks, the rust. Yes, appreciate that. I don't know. I just do what I do. All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. I think we're good for today. I will be back next week. I think. What is next week? I'm like, what day is this? What's happening? Get off my lawn. I am getting aged. It is the 28th today, which means that next week will be, yes, I will still be here. I think 2 days later, I'm headed off to Las Vegas. And so but I'll be here. Rita says, love the color you're wearing. Thank you. It's Nordstrom from last year. I have it in 3 colors. Like a cream, a white, and a black. But this is kind of the interesting color one. Oh, Rita says, do I feel differently about the Element pre-made sticks because you keeps pre-made drinks? Oh, yeah. I'm cool with either one. The pre-made drinks are totally fine. I just don't remember. I think it's the same. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head if there's the same amount in the pre-mixed drinks as there are in the sticks, and I remember what the sticks are. But I think the drinks are the same. Either one is fine, in my opinion. I don't have an issue with the maltodextrin in the stick packs. I'm not, whatever. It's not enough that I'm going to fret about it. That's where I stand. Anyway, all right, guys, have a fabulous week. I will see you next. Rita said Tuesday. Did I say some other day? I will see you next Tuesday. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, good night from Kim's Confusion. All right, bye.